Elysia xpressor is a discrete Class A stereo compressor. As with all Elysia's gear, the discrete Class A circuit results in a fast, transparent, and detailed character. This is a perfect contrast to the other vintage dynamics processors that we already have on the roster. Is the Fairchild 670 too slow? Is the Goldcan VCA too 90s cliché? Well, the xpressor might just be what you're looking for. Another thing that really struck me while I was testing the xpressor was how responsive the controls are. While some compressors seem to retain more or less the same sound no matter how you set the controls, that's certainly not the case with the xpressor. Every change is clearly perceivable, and that makes it both a versatile tool and a joy to work with. Okay, so let's look at the controls. The threshold sets the level at which the xpressor starts to attenuate the signal. Use it in combination with the ratio control to decide the general amount of compression. The attack knob controls the speed at which the xpressor reacts to stuff above the threshold. Fast settings in the counterclockwise position will catch even the sharpest transients, and slower settings, in contrast, will let more and more initial punch through.
I don't believe there's nothing to see, so I can't stop looking up. Walls so high in the sky, but it isn't enough, so we build them up. We fill faults with concrete, line up on broken feet. Never wondering why when we look at the sky, nothing seems real.
Release decides how fast the compressor will let go after the initial onset of attenuation. Faster settings, to counterclockwise, on this particular compressor are very fast and can, in combination with faster attack times and high ratios, turn the xpressor into a clipper of some sorts. Use midway settings around noon for a transparent character, or experiment with longer release times set to match the tempo of the song to induce some pleasant movement.
To leave, so I just keep digging dirt. Climbing up so high while I black at the sky.
The ratio control decides how much the signal over the threshold will get attenuated. A real specialty of this compressor is that it also offers negative ratios. In other words, everything over the threshold will not only get attenuated right to the threshold, a 1 to infinity ratio, but folded down below it. Not exactly a master bus favorite, but this can be a cool creative tool on percussive stereo sources to induce some bouncing and pumping effects.
Climbing up so high while I black at the sky till my fingers hurt. No reason to slow down, fill up with changing crowds. Climbing higher and higher than we'd ever been prior, just to leave a mark. Climbing higher and higher than we'd ever been prior, just to leave a mark. But never wondering why, despite all this time, we were lacking heart.
Now let's look at the more special controls. The sidechain filter allows you to cut the low frequencies only from the signal that decides the compression. In practice, this allows you to avoid too much pumping on kick drum hits and other elements with lots of low-end content.
Wall so high to the sky, but it isn't enough, so we build them up. We fill faults with concrete, line up our broken feet, never wondering why when we look to the sky, nothing seems for real. Blue sky.
Another unique feature of the xpressor is the gain reduction limit setting, or GRL. It limits the maximum gain reduction that the compressor is allowed to apply to the signal. Use this setting to avoid any nasty surprises in the few loud passages or peaks in the song. The gain control is the standard makeup gain that's found on most every compressor, including the xpressor. Use it to bring the volume of the compressed signal back to the original level and thus enable equal loudness assessment of the processing. And the mix knob controls the parallel mix of the processed and the original dry signal. Use parallel compression if you want to bring out the low-level detail, like reverbs, without severely altering the shape of the transients.
Wall so high to the sky, but it isn't enough, so we build them up. We fill faults with concrete, line up our broken feet, never wondering why when we look to the sky, nothing seems for real. Blue sky, kiss off another one. Blue sky, goodbye.
Now let's look at the center section buttons. The Hit It button is a true bypass switch. The warm mode is technically a slew rate limiter in the output driver stage. If that doesn't tell you much, don't worry. What the warm mode does is it very gently changes the frequency response and introduces some harmonic distortion to the signal path. This tames the sharpest clicky transients and adds some, well, warmth to the track. Think of it like a vintage mode.
Nothing to see, so I can't stop looking up. Wall so high to the sky, but it isn't enough, so we build them up. We fill faults with concrete, line up.
The log release changes the characteristic of the release from linear to logarithmic. In practice, this means that the time constant shortens when the amount of gain reduction increases. The advantage of this behavior is that short and loud peaks, like drum hits, have a fast release time, while the remaining material is processed with a slower release. This makes the log release especially useful for stereo bus compression.
Concrete, line up our broken feet, never wondering why when we look to the sky, nothing seems for real. Blue sky, kiss off another one. Blue sky.
To some extent, the autofast xpressor feature can solve the common dilemma of a good attack time setting. If I set it to fast, the compressor will catch all the peaks, but also suck the life out of a track a little bit. And if you set it to slow, the percussive elements will sound more natural, but the sharp peaks will get through unattenuated. So what should I choose? Well, you can have both with autofast. This function will automatically shorten the attack time if a fast, sharp transient is detected, and leave it at the knob setting for the rest of the time.
Looking up, wall so high to the sky, but it isn't enough, so we build them up. We fill faults with concrete, line up our broken feet. seems for real. Blue sky, kiss off another one. Blue sky, goodbye. Bone dry, dig up another one. Bone dry, goodbye.
So that's it. The Elysia xpressor is available at Mix Unlock right now. It will be completely free of charge for 30 minutes of use per day during the promotion period, so simply make a reservation and try it out on your own material. Until next time, bye!
While I pluck at the sky till my fingers hurt.